Hello crafters and welcome to Spring into Sandown online craft show brought to you by From Picture to Page and Beyond Papercraft shows. I'm your host, Michelle Brown, Creative Director at From Picture to Page, which is our scrapbooking, mixed media art and paper crafting community. Now, Spring into Sandown online craft show brings you a whole heap of demonstrations and chats with our talented retailers and some guest artists. So for all the details, head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au where you can see all the sessions, get in touch with the retailers, recap their projects, and it just is the best place to know exactly what's going on. Now, while you're there, make sure you sign up to our email list so we can send you all the details and hopefully very soon send you out the program for 2022. Now, whether you're watching us here live Facebook or a replay on Facebook or YouTube, let us know that you're here. Jump in the comments, just like Ashley's done, and Carol, hello. It's lovely to have you with us today. And that's such a great way to say hi. And hi, Luscious Labels, and Denise, she's watching as well. And it's just so lovely to know that you're there being part of our crafting community. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments as well. And of course, share us with your crafty friends because that's what crafting is all about. So today we are so excited to have Steph from Hobby Hoppers. Hello, Steph.
Hello, how are you?
We are so excited to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am a paper crafter in Queensland and I'm a YouTuber, a blogger, and I think most excitingly, I'm a magic maker for a small business in Melbourne called Hobby Hoppers.
Excellent. So tell us a bit about Hobby Hoppers.
Yes, so it's really exciting doing this, but I'm not the owner of Hobby Hoppers. I am the one and only creative team member. So what I get to do is probably the best part of any part of the small business is to make beautiful things with the products and show it off.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
So, yeah,
and so what would you say your sort of area of expertise is with paper crafts?
Well, I'd say my thing at the moment is stamping and card making.
Oh, that's really good. And so what are you going to show us today?
So today I have a very simple Christmas card. So I've got one here. Mm-hmm. So this is what we'll be making, or as close to it as I can. And if we've got time, I've got a few bits and pieces to make another one similar to it. So
fantastic. Yeah. We'll give you a minute to get your camera set and we'll jump into it.
Cool. Sounds good.
Excellent. So we are so excited to have Steph join us with these adorable critters cards because I think like most of you, when we first started card making, those really cute little animals, whether it was house mouse or whether it's now the lawn fawn, it's just so lovely to see them, to be able to have fun because sometimes I don't think we give ourselves enough permission to have fun when it comes to card making. So I think Steph looks like she is ready to go. So take it away, Steph.
Okie dokie. So like I showed, this is the little card we'll be making. I have a lot of bits and pieces from Hobby Hoppers here. So I'll show you some of the things. So I've got some white cardstock here that I have cut out with my die. I've pre-cut some of my dies just to save a little bit of time. I've got some card bases and these are from Hobby Hoppers. I'll grab over here. So Trish stocks these ones. This is what I'm using today. They're a perfect size. I have trimmed them down just a tiny bit so that they fit perfectly behind my die cut here. And what else have we got? Okay, so we might actually get started and I'll talk about what things I'm using as we go along, just to save a bit of time. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do here is just use some of this Post-it note tape for our first step. And I'm going to block off a bit of my card because I'm going to do just some really light ink blending on my cardstock for that super simple background. I'm using my blending tool. I do often use blending brushes as well, but I'm finding I'm really heavy-handed with ink. I'm quite rough, so these are really nice for a much lighter look. Otherwise, I end up with a big dark splotch right through my background. So there we go. This is probably the only part of this whole card I was nervous to do live. Because I figure I can't take ink away, I can only add more.
Exactly. And look, and that's what you just have to remember as a beginner, to give yourself a little bit of leeway and just go slowly. And then there's always the other side of the card if it becomes really bad.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And I have some spares extra as well, just in case I went overboard. But I think that looks pretty good. So we might go with that, nice and simple.
Excellent. And Denise is telling us that she's in the heavy-handed team as well, so you're not alone.
Oh, yes. I have destroyed some cardstocks with how heavy-handed I can be. So these are from Hobby Hoppers as well. Trish stocks so many of these. These are my favourite watercolours ever. I have 4 different sets of these now. I will show you these ones. These are the opals, so I'll be using these for the background.
Ooh, yeah,
if you can
quite
see,
pale, but we can just see that luminescence being picked up.
Yeah. It's so subtle, but it is so beautiful on the backgrounds. I will show you another set that I have here too. These ones are much more bold. They're really beautiful as well.
Yeah.
So I use these mostly for a little bit of sparkle and sprinkle on my backgrounds. So I'm just going to use just the tiniest bit of water. I'm going to use the opal green because it goes really well with that peacock feathers ink I just used. And then I'm just simply going to sprinkle that over the background. There we go.
Oh, there's nothing
And
like some splatter, is there?
oh, yes, it's so much fun. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it too, just to lift off some of that oxide ink. And so that's our first step done. I can get on to stamping our cute little critters now. So let me just find them. Of course, I've gone a bit nervous and I've moved things all over the place. So this is the adorable little lawn fawn stamp set that I'm using today.
Oh,
It's
aren't
called
they?
Merry Rhyme.
Yes.
They are just so cute. I have a real thing for lawn fawn stamps. I'm not sure what it is. I think it might be the fact that they remind me of a colouring book from when I was little.
Yeah, they're
They're
nice
just
and
really,
simple.
really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple and bold lines. I think they're just really easy to colour in. You don't have to, be a wonderful colourer, if that's a word, for something like this. So here we go. I'm going to use the little mouse, the tree. I've got the stool. And for this one, I'm going to use the little bauble too. So there we go. And I'm going to stamp this with my Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm finding I really like this ink. It's really good with alcohol markers. It doesn't smudge and it dries nice and quick too.
Right.
Okay, so there we go. My cute little mouse. There we go. That'll do.
Oh, they stamp so well.
They do. They're so cute. Okay, so I will just take these off before I forget because I'm going to need this again just a little bit later.
Do you find you need to wipe the Memento ink off the stamps?
Yeah, I do. I do definitely. But I might save that just to save us some time. I will wipe it off the little ornament because we're going to use this too. So in my practice runs with this, I did forget to do this step and I have to colour over, but I've actually remembered to do it this time. So that's handy.
Oh, so you can add it wherever you'd like. Fantastic.
Yeah. So we've got some little baubles and then the mouse, I think you'll hold the last little bauble like he's decorating the tree. Okay, so moving on to colouring. I don't have a whole heap of fancy markers. I do own a couple of Copics, which I'll show now. These are probably the only ones I'll be using today. But I am quite the budget crafter. So I typically, I've got heaps of these cheap alcohol markers and they do the job. So, a lot of people say, oh, but I don't have fancy markers. And I really don't think you need them. Just with enough practice, you can get them looking as good as Copics, I think.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, these blend quite well. I'm just going to very quickly do some blending. Most of my blending it's like a cheats way of blending. I only use 2 colors because it saves a lot of time. I've got, like I've mentioned to you before, I've got 2 little kids.
Well,
and
saving time with small
crafting.
children, it's definitely the way to go.
I have to, that's it. I have to get things done as quickly as possible. And maybe as I get older, I'll have the luxury of more time to do more blending. But for now, it's just I have to get done what I can.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you have more time, you actually get less done because you sort of just don't get stuck into it.
That could be true, definitely. I have to be very efficient in my minimal crafting times. Okie dokie. So we'll do the little stool. Okay. Just add some little dark areas. And then go over it again with the lighter color. And that's pretty much all I do for blending.
It really only takes that 2 shades to give it that depth, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. Okay, so we'll do our little tree. The cardstock I'm using today is I think it's the Express It cardstock, which is meant to be wonderful for ink blending. And I have found it is pretty good. There's no bleeding or anything. I can go a little bit wild with how much ink I put onto this stuff and it doesn't damage it at all. So it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, most paper crafting's pretty robust, but I think when you go to these markers, you do need to have the right paper.
Exactly, especially if you're loading it on. Okay, we'll just do a little bit more blending there too. And I will do my little baubles.
Leanne says you're making it look so easy.
I promise you it is easy. It is very, very easy. Just a little bit there. Here we go. So that's my colouring done. So there's really not a lot of colouring for this card, which is good. It means you can make quite a few if you need to. It doesn't really take too long. Okay, so I'll grab my jelly roll markers. Now, I think this is probably what my images are known for the most, is using these.
I love those pens, but I do find
They are
having
amazing.
trouble finding them sometimes.
Oh, really? They are fantastic. I do highly recommend these. These are the probably the only white markers I've ever had that haven't clogged on me. So yeah, they're really good. And what I'm going to do is just add some tiny little details real quick. I just find this makes the images pop a little bit more. They're just not as flat, and which is good because I don't do a lot of blending.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, adds, I guess, a tiny bit more dimension.
Yeah, so perhaps when you're done, we'll just get you to hold it a bit closer to the camera,
Oh,
just
sure.
so we can
Yeah,
see
definitely
a little bit more of that detail.
Yeah. So I always do their eyes and their little cheeks. All of my characters have to have cheeks. Cats, mice, it doesn't matter. They all get cheeks. As if the images aren't cute enough already. Okay, so I will hold that up so you can you see that a bit better?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, it just changes it up a little bit. I feel like it just adds just a tiny layer of dimension to that.
Yeah, I think that could be the challenge when you're getting started. You don't always see the highlights when you look at an image. You really kind of need to practice learning to see them in a way that makes it, easier to understand.
Yeah, that's it. So what I'm doing here, this is that post-it paper I used before. So reusing it, like I said, budget crafter. I got to get the most out of every piece that I use. So these are the matching dies for this little mouse.
I still think the person who decided with the matching dies for stamps was the most genius person in the whole world.
Oh, definitely. I do fussy cut a lot of things. Again, for budget reasons, sometimes I can't always grab the matching dies, but for things like the mice, like look at this little tail, cutting those out by hand over and over again does get a little bit ridiculous. So I do make exceptions for stamp sets that I'm going to use a lot. I will get the matching dies.
Exactly. And so Trish is telling us that Hobby Hoppers will be stocking the jelly roll pens from December.
Yeah. Yes, it's so exciting. So yeah, that's amazing. They're so good. I could not recommend them any more highly, I don't think. So this would go through my die cut machine, but I have prepared some earlier so I don't have to get up because it is behind me. So here are my little pieces that I have die cut, and as you can see, they're perfectly cut. You can't really do that by hand as much as I try. It is really tricky. So that is my background. It's pretty much dry now. You can see the sparkle on that.
Yes, so as you turn it sideways, we can see that sparkle.
Yeah, in the light, it's so beautiful. So it is really subtle, but it's really, really pretty. It just adds to it. Yeah. Okay, so this one's coming together nice and quickly. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I've got my tweezers close by. I can probably use these ones. I'm going to add some of my little images. So I've got a fine tip bottle here, which has got some dry glue on top. And I'm just going to add my glue to the back. And
what sort of glue have you got in that?
I just use like the cheap Yoo-hoo PVA glue from Big W.
Oh, okay. Yep.
It's because it comes in big bottles and it does the job. It lasts a long time. So I'm just going to hold that in place. Get that. Oh, there we go. Doesn't want to agree. There we go. Stick this little guy down. He's just so cute. I love this little mouse.
He is. He just wants to get that tree decorated.
He does. It's so cute. So I think the Lawn Fawn stuff from Hobby Hoppers is my favourite. I absolutely love Lawn Fawn. Every time there's a release, I'm probably the first person to get my order in. It's definitely my favourite. But I've got a few other things here for this card that are from Hobby Hoppers too. So I will show you in just a second. So Poppy's little bauble in his hand. Oops, he's a bit. There we go. Such intricate little pieces. So there we go. And I've got some foam squares and things here to use as well. So Trish stuffed all of these, which is nice and handy. And to make them last longer, I do tend to trim them down a little bit because my images are so small. Probably don't need to do them that big. There we go. Just going to stick a couple on the back. With cards like this, I don't do like all of the things raised. I feel like just having a few little elements with a bit of dimension is a really sweet little look. So pop these in. There we go. Oh, I might do one more. There we go. So I'm just going to take these off. These ones come off nice and easy. I've got a few sets of foam squares where the backs are just so stuck onto them. And it's like an ordeal trying to rip off the little pieces. There we go. So there is our Christmas tree with a bit of dimension. Now I have pre-cut, if I can find them, some little stars as well. And I will show you the set that these comes from because the set of dies is one of my favorites. So I'm just going to stick that on there.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, so cute. So what was I saying? The die set for this one. So that is the Hearts and Stars skinny tag, and I've used this one a lot. So the hearts are from here, and I've got the little tag as well, which I will do some embossing on.
Oh, lovely. And that could be good if you're doing a shaker card or just a little border.
Yeah, exactly. Those little hearts and stars you can use for everything. Like you said, for shakers, they're really good because they cut out multiples at the same time. It's not just one little piece. So it's really handy. So I'm using my powder tool here, which is rare. I always seem to forget that. It's like one of the most important steps and I forget it.
Yeah. So what's in the powder tool?
It is literally, I remember buying it and thinking, gosh, that smells like baby powder.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it's just for anti-static.
Right.
Which is really funny. We need it up here in Queensland. I feel like, everything sticks.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the sentiment Merry and Bright from that same little stamp set. Very cute. Okay, and then I'm going to grab
us in Melbourne really don't want to hear about the warm weather in Queensland at the moment.
It is particularly warm today. I was, as we led up to the video, I was starting to get really warm. I'm thinking, is it just nerves or is the day getting hotter as it gets later? Okay, so there we go. Merry and Bright. It's very cute. And then I'm going to use just some Lawn Fawn embossing powder for this.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realise they had embossing powder.
Oh, they do. They've got heaps. They've brought out so many cool new things. Stencil paste is one of the newest things that they've brought out, and I've only used it once so far, and I'm obsessed.
Did you take that spoon from one of your children?
I did. Yes, my children are too big for these spoons now.
I remember those.
Yeah. Oh, my son sees it every now and then, and he says, "Mummy, was that my spoon when I was little?" I'm like, "Yes. Don't look at all the other things I've taken from you."
It looks like you got it out before you got the teeth marks in it. That's good.
Yeah, I think I did, but it's got some wax, like from wax seals stuck on it at the moment. It's looking a bit rough. Okay, so I'm going to heat emboss this. So I've got my embossing tool that I'll bring over at a bit of an awkward angle because it's off to the other side. Okay.
And I think this is the bit that when all stampers fell in love with seeing embossing powder melt.
It's amazing. There's something magical about it.
Yeah.
I actually love doing bulk embossing. I know it's tedious and it takes a lot of time, but just seeing all of the powder melt and get so shiny and bright, it's so cool.
And good idea using the tweezers. That saves your fingers.
Yes, yes. Tweezers have a silicone cover on them because if you use plain metal ones, oops, sorry, let me turn this off. If you use plain metal ones, the heat can travel up the tweezers, so that's something to remember. Saves you from getting burned. So there we go, my nice bright sentiment. And these foam squares have nice long strips here too, so that's going to be perfect for the back of this.
Oh, that's handy.
Because I don't have to use a million little dots, so I'm just going to line it up.
So it has the squares and the strips.
Yeah, so isn't that handy? I don't have to use so many of them.
And what brand were those squares?
They are Uniquely Creative.
Right.
Yeah, and they are stocked at Hobby Hoppers too. Okie dokie, so let's pop maybe two. There we go. And before I stick that down, I'm going to add some twine. And this is the twine that I'm using today. Trish stocks so much of this. There are so many colours. These are beautiful. There's some sparkly ones that I've had my eye on for a little while too. They are just really nice. I actually use the natural coloured one a lot for ornaments that I make. It's a nice sturdy twine, so you can tie some really good bows with it. I'm terrible at tying bows, but if you can do nice ones, they hold really well. They are just, it's really nice.
Oh, what a great idea.
yeah, so it's just a nice little extra detail on this one. You can all have a look at my terrible bows.
Not at all.
Okay.
Okay, that's
So
definitely not a terrible bow.
there we go. So very cute. And before I stick that on, I'm going to add just some plain double-sided tape to the back of this. There we go. Okay, that's probably enough for this one. And then I'm going to add this onto it.
And there were some other cute sentiments in that set as well, wasn't
Yeah. So I went with this one today because it's nice and easy to do on a live video because it's one piece. But they do have like little ones that are broken up, like "Have a Mice Christmas," which is just so cute.
That's
These
so
puns
cute.
are so sweet and safe. They're adorable. And then there's "Hope your holidays are," so you can do merry and bright,
Oh,
and
okay.
"Hope
Oh,
your
lovely.
holidays are mice" if you wanted to. So it's very cute.
Yep.
Very,
Although
very
after
cute.
the mice plague in New South Wales, they might not really appreciate that, but you know.
Yeah, that's understandable. So I'm going to add this onto my card base. Ooh. It's always when you do a live that these things don't want to unstick. At least with my YouTube videos, I can always edit out how long it takes me sometimes to get them up. So these are slightly bigger than the card bases once I trim them down. So I tend to stick it on from the back just so I can line it up properly.
Okay.
I think that's okay. There we go. It'll be right. And there we have it.
Oh, Steph, that's
is
lovely.
It's so sweet and it's very easy. Like you just saw it come together. It really doesn't take very long. Very, very cute. So I do, if we've got a few minutes, I've got some other pieces cut out that I can stick on
Definitely.
to another
Yeah,
one.
please do.
Okay, so let's have a look. I have just pre-prepared these, and it is pretty much along the exact same lines, only I've done a cat on this one.
Oh,
I thought a cat would be a little bit cute. So I can just do the same little things on this. Although I didn't stick my my nice long pieces on the back of this one, so you get to see how much I struggle with pulling those ones
And
off.
was that cat in the same set or is that in a separate set?
This is a different Lawn Fawn set. So this one's called Perfectly Wicked. It's actually part of one of their Halloween stamp sets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but what I love about their images is that most of the pieces can be mixed and matched. So I'm using a Halloween cat for a Christmas card because it doesn't really look like a Halloween thing right now.
No,
so,
not when you colour it
yeah.
in grey. It looks it looks
exactly.
adorable rather than threatening.
It is very cute. So I'm just going to stick these little pieces on. And then, yeah, before we know it, we'll have 2 cards finished.
And someone was ready to send you their list so you could make their cards. They say they take all day to make them.
I have so many people requesting Christmas card, like for me to be their Christmas card maker.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm so busy. I got to make my own. My Christmas list, I think it grows every year. And I'm never organised, honestly.
Yeah, that's the thing about
I
having
would
the
be?
craft show in October. You kind of get to a point where you suddenly go, oh my goodness, we really need to start thinking about Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, this cat is so cute. There we go. And he's going to be holding a little bauble just like the mouse.
Oh, it'd actually be really cute to have the cat and the mouse together. They could be on each side.
Yeah, they could be. And that's what I love about this set too, is that it comes with 2 mice. So you could probably do one on each side if you wanted to. Just for simplicity's sake, I did one today. But it is very cute. Okay, actually, I'll do this bit first. So this is what I mean by they stick. This brand in particular is not a great one, but this is not stocked by Hobby Hoppers. This is one I had already. So the Uniquely Creative one, I think I've been converted to them because they work so much better.
Yeah, sometimes you do. Like you said, it's good to be budget, but sometimes it's worth spending that little bit extra.
Absolutely. Saves you time, which I don't have a lot of, so it's good. Okay, so let's pop our little tree. And then we can stick our little star on.
Having that bit of colour behind it makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It does. It's like, I do love my blended backgrounds, and I do often do very full-on, like full card front blended backgrounds. But it's kind of, yeah, just like this sweet little shadow, and it's enough. You don't have to go overboard for something like that, so it's really nice.
And having the line gives you your horizon, and it just helps the images really pop off.
It really does. It's very sweet. Oh, here we go. This one's being tricky. Okay, here we go. Oops. I think I have about 1 million of these little pieces throughout my house. I have gone to bed one night and found one already in bed.
Oh no, that's
they
not
just get
good.
everywhere. Okay, so we'll stick this one on. And this is part of a different stamp set that is by Fawn as well. It's called Joy to All. So peace, joy, and all things merry. I think that's a very sweet little sentiment.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is another card base that I have ready. And I stuck the tape on the back of this one earlier, so I was nice and prepared for this one. Oop, there we go. Just making sure my card base is going on the right way so it doesn't open the wrong way.
I'm sure that didn't cross any of our minds that we hoped you had that on the right way.
So there we go. There's another one.
Oh, fantastic.
Aren't they gorgeous?
They are. And perhaps you just hold them up a little bit closer to the camera so we just see that detail.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, we can see the sparkle there too.
Yes, aren't they beautiful? And for this one, I did use that same set of opal, but I used the opal pink in that one. So it's super subtle, but it really does make the background very pretty.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. We'll give you a tick to get your camera back around.
Awesome. I'll see you soon.
Fantastic. Oh, wasn't it just so lovely to see some really nice stamps, again, some really lovely products with the markers and the watercolours and just some really simple techniques, because I think sometimes we get ourselves a little bit carried away with crafting and we sometimes forget that sometimes the simplest things really do make it worthwhile. So, Steph, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. That was a lot of fun.
Excellent, excellent. So I guess we'll head everyone to the Hobby Hoppers website so they can check out all the Fawn stamps.
Yes, there's so much there. Not just stamps, but like the cords and pretty much everything you need to make cards, like the card bases, the foam dots. There's so much there.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And you mentioned that you're on YouTube, so where could people find you if they wanted to follow you?
So my YouTube channel is World of Papercraft, WHIRLED, not the globe world, the other kind of world. And yeah, so I've been doing that for about a year now, and yeah, it's lots of fun. You'll see me do everything from simple crafts to very over-the-top cards.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, that's good. And like I said, I think sometimes it's nice to be reminded of simple, or again, using those techniques that you build on when you get more elaborate.
Yeah, that's just it.
Excellent. Well, Steph, thank you so much, and of course for Trish and Hobby Hoppers to be with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Thanks. Well, I hope you did enjoy that. And like we said, for all those products, head over to hobbyhoppers.com.au. Their URL will be somewhere near this video. And, of course, follow them on Facebook and I believe Instagram. I think Trish and Steph spend a lot of time on Instagram as well, where you can see all their beautiful stamps, their hemp cords. And I know that Trish does hop around hobbies quite a bit, so there is a really wide range of things that you can use in your different card making. And, of course, washi tape is something that Hobby Hoppers is really known for as well. So like we said, continue to support small businesses, and again, whether it's just following them on socials, adding comments and sharing them with your crafty friends. So we really hope you enjoyed this session. If you do have any other questions, I can see that Desley has popped Steph's YouTube link there, so thanks for that, Desley. We can see that and we'll be able to follow her along. So yeah, any other questions, pop them in the comments, and Trish and Steph, I'm sure, would love to answer them, and we look forward to seeing what you do. Now, of course, if you do make some of your cards, we'd love for you to share them with the hashtag P2PCrafts and hashtag Spring into Sandown, and then we can see what you've made as well. So we hope you're having a fantastic day. We are going to have a bit of a break, come back for another session soon, and we certainly hope you have a crafty day.